my friends, Jacob is here one more time, and so are you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and all of you. Oh, I'm so happy. Why am I so happy? I'm happy because, I got a show. What a show. Oh my God, what a show I have for you today. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how this stuff happens. I got an idea. I'm a man of faith, so, like I go to the gym and I pray. I'm like, what do I got to do next? Let me tell you, why do I got to talk like this to God? Because I had a show about Russell Brand, which I may tape again. Somehow I deleted the entire show. It's a very interesting program. It's about mankind wanting to worship mankind in Scripture. Adam was ruddy, red-haired. Esau was red-haired, right? So you have that carnal man. It's kind of a symbol. And Russell literally means red-haired brand. It's the brand. Let's worship the Antichrist. Let's worship the beast. So, I mean, that whole show was deleted. I like Russell. I'm not going to get into Russell today on the program. He has some questionable ties and some questionable ideas, but I didn't expect to be talking to you with a much better show. Like, there's a reason why that was on the back burner on my computer, because I just didn't feel it. I didn't think it was worthy of all of you. But this program, holy macaroni, this is a good one. Talk about things coming together in an unexpected way. And many of you were helpful in this. Can't tell you how many people pointed things out to me. They saw a scary movie. Uma, like it's that movie with the grandmother. It's a horrifying movie, and it's all about the nine-tailed fox. Interesting, right? Not as interesting as what you're going to find out. Today's program, we're going to talk, just so you know, so you stick around, because there's a lot to get to. We're going to talk about a lot of interesting things, okay? We're going to take literal events, that's what I do on the program, and we're going to reveal possibly what maybe God is saying through them, spiritually speaking, if you will. We're going to talk about the ISS, the International Space Station, the Dragon. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about Biden. We're going to talk about the nine-tailed fox. We're going to talk about the goo. We got so much to talk about. We're going to even talk about, I shared this poem. Sometimes I do things, I just put things out there. I put things out there for those who want to look a little deeper, want to seek a little more. Put this poem out there. Israel didn't know what was killing them as they slept. It wasn't until Moses lifted up the serpent that this mystery was met. The fiery serpent's venom was the best bet. But if Israel didn't cry out in repentance, their sentence would be set. The snake can't hurt you if you repent. We got some interesting things to go over today on today's show. So I hope you buckled up. Welcome back to the show. I'm hoping that I release this on Good Friday, as they call it, the Good Friday. If you do a little math, Friday to Sunday doesn't add up to 3 days. I'm not a big fan of man's traditions, but I'm hoping that it's released on this day because it's spiritually significant. It's about the death, the spirit of death, right? Man laying down his life so he can live again. I just did a show about the nine-tailed fox, about the fox that was in D.C. This show. You should watch it. If you didn't, there's a link. You should click on that, because when I released the show, I didn't really quite understand. I didn't have the full revelation of how important that program was until I was in the live chat with all of you. And then it dawns on me, it hits me, boom, I'm a big meatball, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I wish I remembered that. I wish I shared that. Because see, God's behind the scenes, always working, always doing things, right? Inspiring me to do little things like the thumbnail that I shared. You'll see a picture of Elon and Trump sitting at a table. Behind them is the president of China, the emperor. And you see the fox. There's a fox that's on the table, and it looks almost like Donald Trump and Elon are about to eat the fox. This is interesting, because Elon is making some big moves. I don't know if you noticed, or I don't know if you heard. He wasn't going to join the board. I just did a program about how he's going to give power back to allow Donald Trump to speak. It's incredibly significant, prophetically speaking, because he's known for the Dragon rocket. All of this stuff is going to just come together. It's going to give you the goosebumps, because it gave me the goosebumps. But in the thumbnail, you see that fox that is right there on the table. And it looks like they're going to eat the fox. And that's what I was going for. That fox, by the way, which I didn't get to share in the video. I kind of did, but I didn't get to explain it enough. I was picturing as, good old President Biden. We're Biden our time. The fox, why do I say this? Because in the video that I just did, I talked about where Jesus was speaking about Herod, where Herod and the system was going to come against Christ because they knew it wasn't a good thing. And Jesus said, you go tell that fox, behold, I cast out devils, lies, people they've bought into a bunch of lies. The devil is the father of all lies, people that are possessed by lies, fake news. I cast out devils by speaking the truth of God. I do cures today and tomorrow. And on the third day, I will be perfected, completed. Nevertheless, I must walk today and tomorrow and the day following, for it cannot be but a prophet perishes out of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, you that kill the prophets and stone them that are sent to you. How often would I have gathered you, as a hen does gather its brood under its wings, but you would not. So, behold, your house is left desolate. Destruction's coming to your house, you fox. And verily I say to you, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. And I explained how we need to repent, and we need to be kind, and we need to love, because a day of correction is coming. Big correction is coming. And I didn't adequately express how Herod was a temporary ruler over Israel, much like Biden is a temporary ruler over Israel today. Those that God has, the children of God, the manifestation of the sons of God. Israel is the name for those who overcome in the world, God's children. So Biden is just like a temporary ruler. He's compared to a fox which just recently in Japan we had the stone, the killing stone that opened up and released the nine-tailed fox. Remember, I did a show about that. If you haven't seen it, click the link. Remember, I had Ethan come on and explain Naruto and the nine-tailed fox and everything else. Well, this nine-tailed fox is supposed to be this beautiful woman. Very coincidental, very significant, almost a lot like the Whore of Babylon, which we find in the book of Revelation, whore of Babylon, which the dragon turns against. Interesting. It's interesting because this nine-tailed fox. This is where it gets a little weird. I hope you're sitting down, or I hope you're at least buckled up. Because this is weird. I do this program. Okay, so you have the killing stone. The nine-tailed fox is released, right? Then there's a fox that's on the Capitol grounds. But yet, this nine-tailed fox mythology is like all over. And so many of you, I guess, saw that spooky movie, Uma, which is, about not turning into your parents kind of a deal, but it's very spooky. The nine-tailed fox is in this movie. The movie, Uma, that scary movie that was just released. Uma's trailer contains horrifying sequences, beast swarms in the attic, to scenes involving corpse-like hands. The most notable in the film's trailer, listen to this, the most notable is the presence of the nine-tailed fox. It's very strange. And I'm like, when this killing stone opened, I kind of surmised that it was symbolic of the beast being revealed in the world. And we've seen so many movies coming out. Rise of the Beasts, this Transformers is coming out. On April 15th, we got so many movies about the beast, right? We got the Beast, that Indian movie that's out right now. I'm not going to show you all the thumbnails, but there's so many beasts. The beasts Fantastic Beasts is being revealed. Harry Potter 3, remember in my dream? I just talked about it. Beasts everywhere you go. It's all tied together. It's almost like this is the moment. This is the moment where the beast is revealed, or the beast comes after those that God sent into the world to wake up. The witnesses of God. I'm a witness, 11:11. Revelation 11:11. Look it up if you want to know what it means. So you got this nine-tailed fox, this fox spirit, which has been around a long time. It has to do with Chinese mythology. I'm going to get into some stuff soon, but even this should freak you out a little bit, okay? Especially with, I got so many emails about people telling me to look at the water. Everybody's like, look at the water. Jacob, you got to watch this. Let me tell you something. I watched all this stuff. I'm already on top of this stuff. I got so many people saying you gotta look it up. So I wrote that poem. Moses, what happened in the Old Testament? They were being killed. They didn't know why they were dying. God sent fiery serpents to bite them. The venom was what was killing them. And they didn't even know it. You know what I like? I get a kick out of people when they're like, "Hey Jacob, you have no idea how connected to this poem. You have no idea." I'm just putting it out there for you to think. Maybe you could tie things together. Maybe these are little breadcrumbs. So you put together, you get a nice matzah loaf, right? Because Passover's here. So this is strange, but it gets so much stranger. Okay, so we have the nine-tailed fox, right? It comes from the fox spirit. It's a mythical fox entity from Chinese mythology. Foxes are depicted as spirits possessed with magical powers. These foxes are depicted as mischievous, trickery, lies. They have the ability to disguise themselves. They're deceivers. The fox spirit, which is in this movie, which was in that rock, which was just at the Capitol, was euthanized. The mad fox, the mad ruler, much like the ruler that followed Nebuchadnezzar, Nabonidus, the mad king. I did a show about that too. Check that show out right here. Wow, right? The king that like it was had no power at all, was totally was just kind of a mouthpiece, and ended up not finishing out his term. I wonder if that's going to happen. Yes, it's going to happen. You'll see. This fox spirit is a shapeshifter. They often take the form of a young woman, like a harlot or the whore of Babylon. So we see the Eastern mythology coming together with the whore of Babylon. It's the fox spirit. It's the whore of Babylon. It's Jezebel. You see? You see the connection? Because that's the connection that's being made. It gets weirder though. In a book called Shan Hajing, Gupu, I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of this right, but just go with me, had commented that the nine-tailed fox was an omen that appeared during times of peace. So things are going good and all of a sudden it's a bad omen. Here you go. Things are going to get worse. That's good stuff, right? But this is the thing that freaked me out the most. It's going to freak you out too. Oh, good grief. I hope that you're paying attention and not just getting lost in the chat. 300 li farther east in King Q Mountain, where much jade can be found on its south slope and green cinnabar on its north, there is a beast here whose form resembles a fox with 9 tails. It makes the sound of a baby. It's like a little baby. And it is a man-eater. Whoever eats the 9-tailed fox will be protected against poison called goo. Goo! Like the black goo! I'm serious, listen! Goo is poison. Goo is poison. So if you eat the fox, when you consume something, when you get it's like you own it, if you will. When you kind of can take charge of your egotistical nature and you consume it, then the black goo won't hurt you. But what is the black goo, right? What is the goo? What is the goo? That's what it's called. Goo poison, it's a poison, involved sealing several venomous creatures. What? The 9-tailed fox! I got a picture of the 9-tailed fox about to be eaten by Elon and Donald. By the way, Elon. Do you know the name Elon? Many people think Elon is from Elion, which is the God of Israel. But Elon is known for a lot of interesting things, right? A lot of interesting things. One of them being the fact that he's about to buy Twitter completely. A hostile takeover. Donald Trump, who essentially died politically. Every single organization dropped him. He was shut down. He was quiet. He's no longer allowed to speak. The dragon, if it's SpaceX, spiritually speaking, can give that power to speak back to Donald Trump. Not saying Donald Trump's going to be back in power, but there's going to be a second beast who may be connected to Donald Trump, who, it's all tied together. It's very strange. But before I get into all that, because I know this is like, listen, I'm a speculator, right? I'm just speculating. I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff. I know that all of this is spiritual. And in the book of Revelation, the beast is not a literal man. I did a video, by the way. Hey, check that video out too, right here. Did a video about what the Antichrist is, but you know what? See, the problem is a lot of people, they don't want to look at things spiritually speaking. So what God does is he gives them the literal interpretation. He goes, here you go. You got your literal, and you want a tyrant, you got a tyrant. I'm not saying Trump's going to be the tyrant. For all I know, he's going to be a good guy. I don't know. I don't know if he's even going to be back in. I know he's going to be back in power, just so you know. I know this is going to happen. But I don't know if there's going to be somebody ruling in his stead, like the book of Revelation speaks. But I do know, and I feel in my heart that fox, the mad fox that's about to be euthanized or was euthanized because it bit. Check this out. How do I miss this? How do I miss this in the last show? Talk about the nine-tailed fox. Guess how many people the fox bit in the Capitol? 9. 9. I was going to say 3 to throw you off, but no, 9. 9-tailed fox. Bites 9 people. You tell that fox, Herod. We're just biding our time. I've been saying that for a long time. A lot of things coming together. Right? These people, if they be corrupt, this is the day we're in. Lord is going to make things right. If you've been on the show for a long time, you know that I've said things or I've prayed things and then boom, they happen. It's very strange, right? And this is not something that I have that's just unique to me. This is something you could do too, because the power of life and death is in our tongue, and we have the power with faith. If we have faith to say to that sycamore tree, be cast into the sea, or that mountain that's standing in our way, get out our way, get into the sea. And what is the mountain? The mountain is Christ, the mountain of truth. The mountain of truth can be cast into the world today, and that fox spirit can be eaten and devoured just like I had it on the plate. Looks like Elon and Donald are about to eat Biden up, spiritually speaking. I didn't tell you this, but that's what I meant. And of course, China in the background kind of behind it all. But if you eat the nine-tailed fox, and you overcome this adulterous woman, this beast, if you will, this whore of Babylon, if you will not be affected by the goo, which is a poison that is collected from a bunch of snakes and scorpions and everything else. And everybody's sharing me the videos about the water, and you got the nine-tailed fox in the movie Uma. You got the nine-tailed fox here, you got the nine-tailed fox there, and you got the nine-tailed fox. And if you eat it, you don't got to worry about the goo. I think that's strange. I think it's strange. Especially because I go to my doctor yesterday, right? Because all of a sudden, right, I got this, because I have a couple of autoimmune diseases. Well, they tell me I have autoimmune diseases. I don't want to claim them. I've suffered with them. Sure. Remember I was telling you about the weird stuff that I get on my head here and here? The psoriasis. Well, I got it like all over my legs and my butt. My butt is so weird. It looks so scary. Danielle was like, what the hell happened to you? And I was like, I don't know. And I thought that maybe I got, because I've been eating a lot of like store-bought sushi, you know, the cheap sushi you get. I was like, well, maybe I got a parasite. And then I worried, maybe I got shingles again. Turns out, no. Just, just part of the old, the trifecta. It's just, psoriasis, no big deal attached to the Crohn's or the AS. Might as well add that to the list. I was so happy when I heard that, though, because in the grand scheme, I don't care. I'm married. My wife loves me for me. I'm not worried about if, God forbid, I get it elsewhere. Listen to how vain I am. How vain. You wonder where I wear shirts that are too small. They're not too small. This is a medium. I should be in an extra large. Okay, they're a little small. I admit it. Okay, so this is where it gets really, really cool. We're talking about the nine-tailed fox, right? The shape-shifting, black magic, goo-creating system, Babylonian system, Whore of Babylon type system that sits on the many waters, which is all the beast system. The fox, you tell that fox Herod, the system that's in charge, the temporary system that's going to be replaced. Everything that I'm sharing on the show keeps pointing to the fact that this system is cursed. Right? The Queen of Heaven, the cursed stones on Mount Ebal that were just discovered. Joseph's tomb that was destroyed. Whew! All of this is so spiritually significant. Even the bird pooping on Joe Biden. So strange. So strange. I was texting Donut back and forth because now it's like, this young buck. I like him. I think God's got his... I think God's got... He connects things that, God's got to be involved. So I think God's got his hand on this young guy's life. So I want to encourage him and everything else. And so he reached out to me about the bird poop, and I responded back about birds are messengers. And the only time, this is ironic, the only time that bird poop is mentioned, Joe Biden, because we're Biden our time, he was speaking at an event and a bird pooped on his shoulder, right? The only time that bird poop is mentioned in Scripture, it's a dove's poop, dung. And it's about famine that's coming on Samaria, famine in the land. I think this is in 2 Kings. And it's basically expressing how expensive everything's going to get. How even a dove's dung is going to be worth something. And a dove is symbolic of God's messengers. So even like the things that, like right now, you probably are looking at the world and you're looking at things that you're going through and you're like, I got no hope. But if you put your hope in God, even your poop is going to be worth something. Come on. Come on, give God some praise. You wonder why I don't have a church. Very symbolic because birds are messengers. And if poop is being lodged on his shoulder at an event where he's promising he's going to lower prices, it's a good bet he's not going to be lowering no prices. And if a fox is going to be euthanized because it's now crazy, because it's got the rabies, and it's being euthanized, and it's caught in the Capitol, I'm thinking that there's another fox that may be caught in the Capitol too, and I'm not saying the other guy's good. Because if you haven't noticed, I'm talking about the dragon giving power to the beast to speak again on Twitter. And I'm not saying that he's the beast, but I'm saying spiritually speaking. Think about this for a second. Elon buys Twitter. He could give power back to Donald Trump to speak, but not Donald Trump to speak, but the image of Donald Trump, which is what we're actually talking about here. That the dragon gives power to the image of the beast to speak. It would be like a thumbnail, or a profile pic. It's the image to speak. Elon, the dragon himself, the dragon rocket, SpaceX dragon. Elon, which means, if it's Elyon, it means the God of Israel. I like Elon. He's so rich. He's the richest man and the most powerful man on the planet today. Period. End of story. How did that happen? So all over, we're seeing pictures on this program again and again and again. We're seeing a picture of the beast system or I should say the whore of Babylon, if you will, being put down. There's a reckoning that's coming. There's a war that's coming. The dragon's not too thrilled, right? So the dragon comes after that child that's about to be birthed. I'm going to read this in a second. A little while ago, when all this stuff started to happen in the, what's going on in the world right now, where everybody's talking about it in that one place. Don't make me explain. It rhymes with that. If you. Russia is like, hey, we're not going to help the ISS. The station's going to crash into the earth. We're going to leave it at that. Did you know it's actually set to crash into the earth in not too long? They think it's going to crash into the earth. You know why? Because it's having issues with power. So who gives power to the ISS? ISIS, the Queen of Heaven. You had the Pope, right, just doing the whole thing to the Queen of Heaven. Everything's about the Queen of Heaven. My last couple of shows about the Queen of Heaven. Whore of Babylon, Nine-Tailed Fox. It's all happening. It's all playing out in the world. And then you got the ISIS, the ISS, the space station. It's being powered by the Dragon. SpaceX Dragon delivers solar arrays to the International Space Station. Now, why is this interesting to me? This is where I get freaked out. I had a dream, right? I had a dream. I was standing and I was looking towards, New York City. And there was a big like a mushroom cloud explosion. I didn't know if it was a nuclear bomb or a dirty bomb or whatever, but I knew because there was a SpaceX rocket. It was a missile or a rocket that was SpaceX that came and went. It's very strange because the dragon is cast back into the earth and it drags a third of the stars. Now, spiritually speaking, by the way, all of this is spiritual. I understand that Revelation 12 and 13 is all spiritual and it has to do with spiritual things. But we did have the sign in heaven, Revelation 12, back September 23rd, 2017. And then the sign that follows, we did have, it's the dragon. The next thing that has to happen is the dragon has to be cast into the earth. This weird dream. I share it on a video. I don't know if I can share it, I'll share it now. If I don't go back and find it, I don't have time to find it, but I did. I shared a video. I talked about this dream that I had. It was a while ago. I've been concerned about New York City for a while. I'm not saying the space station's going to crash into New York City, but something. Something's going to go down. I don't know what it is. But it would be interesting if it was the dragon and the ISS. If it was hurled into the earth. Because I did have that weird dream about the space. I've had a lot of weird things happen. Listen, I prayed that Cuomo would be replaced. He was replaced. Remember that? I talked about then the replacement, Nancy Pelosi's, cousin or whatever, they're related, Hochul. And I said, because she turned out to be worse. I said, well, if there be corrupt Lord, do something about it. And now we found out about, what's his name? Brian, Governor Hochul's chief of staff is paying the price because he did a bad job vetting Brian Benjamin, who's the lieutenant governor. Corruption again, once again revealed, just like I said. So I think to myself, I'm like, oh, okay, Elon's going to give the power back to the Trumpster. I don't even listen. I did a video a while back, Absalom's Revenge. I think Jared Kushner is a very smart guy. I think that he may end up in politics someday. I don't know when. Absalom was, David's son who kind of took over, and so I kind of feel like Jared Kushner may be that guy. He even looks like that guy. Because in Revelation we hear about these two beasts. We hear about the first beast and we hear about another beast who the first beast gives power to, and the first beast still in charge of. It's very interesting how politically this could play out. Like if it plays out that way, it's like literal as well as spiritual. And so when I'm hearing the news that SpaceX Dragon, the Dragon crew, is giving power to the ISS, like literally, like this is in the news right now, I'm a little concerned, and I'll tell you why. Let me read this to you. This is going to freak you out, right? Because God's wrath against the wicked nation is a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. An uncrewed SpaceX Dragon CRS-22 cargo ship launched on a Falcon 9 rocket from NASA's Kennedy Space Station on June 3rd and arrived at the International Space Station 2 days later. It was carrying, among many things, 2 new solar arrays that will power the ISS. Solar power. Power from the sun. The solar power of the solar god. Artemis and Apollo. Trump's a big fan of Apollo, by the way. He's got like Apollo all over his penthouse in New York. Yeah, just saying. The power of the sun. Power of the literal sun. Solar powered. But that's not the freaky part. The freaky part is the Dragon delivered 2 out of 6 IROSA arrays on this trip. IROSA. They were rolled up and stored in a compact cylinder. The other 4 solar arrays will arrive at the space station in 2023. Now, why am I making a big deal out of IROSA? Why did I text Donut, Alex, out of the blue? Out of the blue for no reason. Just sent him a picture of what IROSA means in Italian. Because I'm thinking about God's wrath being poured out on this beast system. And you know what IROSA means? Wrathful. That's strange, don't you think? Wrathful. That these 6 solar arrays that are supposed to help the space station, they're named after God's wrath. It's weird. So it makes me think, this thing's gonna crash. That's what I'm thinking. This thing's gonna crash. Of course it's gonna crash. And of course that dream's gonna come true. I don't know if that's gonna happen, people. I don't know. But it's weird. It's strange. And it gives me a good deal of hope. You know, I like texted Derek. Last night I even called him. I said, Derek, dude, how do I miss this? How did I miss the 9-tailed fox being, and how did I not explain that it's a picture of Biden? You tell that fox Today I'm casting out the lies. Tomorrow I'm going to cure people of what they've been through. And on the third day I'm going to be perfected. And here we are on Good Friday. If I get it out on Good Friday, I hope I did. And on the third day we got Easter, which we know is all based on pagan nonsense. But you know what? April 15th is Passover. It's all about the angel of death passing over. You know, you covered by the blood? Are you asking God for the truth no matter what the cost? Are you humbling yourself? Are you excited? I'm excited. This is an exciting time to be alive. None of this stuff makes any sense. I wasn't planning on talking about any of this, but it looks like I just did like a week's worth of research, didn't I? And I don't even know what time it is. Oh, by the way, I looked at my watch. I don't even have a watch. Check that out. What does that say? It says Jacob Israel. You know why? Because Alexander sent this to me. How cool is that? Sent this to me. Jacob, hope you like the bracelet. The 3 big stones are tiger's eye. They're protective stones and also help with releasing fear and anxiety. Which, by the way, thank you, Alex, because according to my doctor, who, by the way, told me, did you see what's in the water? Because he's a fan of mine. I had told Erick, I said, now he's watching you too. My doctor, how great is it that my doctor is like a fan of what I do? How great is it that my doctor, the guy who takes care of my health, has a spiritual tie to what is being shared? It is just awesome to me. But he tells me, he's like, you must be stressed out about what's happening. You must be stressed out about what's to come. I've never had this crazy psoriasis outbreak. It looks horrible. It's painful. No, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm okay. I'm all right. So this is supposed to, I guess these 3 tiger stones, or whatever they're called, they're tiger's eye, are going to help me with fear and anxiety and add to harmony and balance, and can increase my focus, clarity, calm, willpower, courage, and perseverance, and more. How nice. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. Alexander, warrior. And I got a lot of other things too. People sent me this too. I got this, my boy Matt, you know who you are. He sent me a bunch of stuff. I don't know how to work it yet, because I'm not that great, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it. And look at this. Somebody else sent me this. Order of the Dragonfly. It's a book. Went with the same publisher that I went with, Gatekeeper, which is like a self-publishing. That's what I went to. Jacob Israel. You're a motivation, hopeful leader to so many, me included. God is using you in an amazing way. Thank you for everything, especially being a light in the darkness, present and ahead. God bless you and yours. And it was dated 2/27/2022. Thank you so much, Anthony. I look forward to reading this. Check it out, I guess. You know, that was smart. You sent it to me, right? I sent my book. I just sent my book out to Holly Furtick's team again. I don't know why I'm focused on them. He's a big pastor, Stephen Furtick. The Calling, my novel. By the way, this is a big deal, right? This is a great book if you haven't read it. But I put it out there too. I hope somebody does that for my book, because I just did it for you, Anthony. Listen, everyone. I know everyone is concerned about the days ahead. I get it. And you should be. Because it's not going to it's not going to be beautiful overnight. Okay? We got too many messed up people in charge. Got too much corruption going on. But trust me, if you put your trust in God, right? All you got to do on your own, you don't got to go to a church or temple, a mosque. You don't got to go anywhere. I don't care what anybody tells you. You don't got to read this book or that book or that. All you got to do is say, you know what? It's very simple. Do you know how to love people? That's what you do. Love. Love others as yourself. Do to other people the way you want to be, treat other people the way you want to be treated. And ask for forgiveness, because we've all been deceived. You know, we've all been deceived by that 9-tailed fox, that whore of Babylon. We've all been deceived by the system. If we say, you know what? Lord, it's no longer I that live, but you that live. If we understand that we are the body of Christ, that we're given the name of Christ and we're given the mind of Christ. If we understand and we lay down our life in this world and say, Lord, use us, help us. And each day, we're not going to be perfect, but we will be perfected. On the first day, you tell that fox, I'm going to cast out the demons. The lies we've believed, they're going to go bye-bye. God's going to get rid of them in your life. The next day, I'm going to do all sorts of cures, things that are troubling you. If you're not polluted by lies and you're not doing corrupt things, you won't have the judgment for doing corrupt. You reap what you sow. Second day, there's going to be cures. And on the third day, Christ is going to be perfected, completed, whole. We're going to enter into that rest. That's what's coming. Even though the dragon and the system may want to put it to an end, there's no power over us because God is good. I love each and every one of you. Do me a favor. Have the best day ever. Get yourself an I Am a Witness t-shirt. I'm going to be stopping this soon. So get yourself this because I'm going to come out with another thing. Get yourself a copy of The Calling. It's on Amazon. All the links to everything are in, below. And I do this because, yes, this is the only way that I support myself now. It's not that easy. YouTube doesn't pay a lot of money, so this stuff helps. But I'm telling you, these things, there's more to it. It'll not only be the best book you've read, and it's on sale, finally. Remember I put it on sale for $11.11? Then it became a bestseller, right? For new releases. Became a bestseller like I knew it would be on Pentecost of all things. Well, price increases and everything else. Now it's actually on sale for $11.11. Because when I put it on sale for $11.11, they changed the price to like $9, and I was upset. But it's on sale now for $11.11. Get it while it's on sale. It's in the description below. I think it'll help you. And thank you for my patrons. Thank you to those that go to PayPal. Thank you for those that like and comment and share and subscribe. Thank you for those that super chat. Whatever it is that you do, the very little that you can do, what you can do, I'm not asking you to sacrifice more than you can do. It helps. And I'm grateful. And I love you. And God bless you. And enjoy the trailer for my novel for those who haven't seen it. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
September 10th. Mars hangs closer to the Earth than it has in 6,000 years. Like the light that led men from the east to a child in a manger, it could well be a sign of good things to come. Thomas James shall be his name. The world will change because of him. In the small town of Bethel, in a time not unlike our own, a child with a great purpose is born. Years later, alienated by his peers and abused, Thomas suffers a devastating loss. When it appears he has nothing left to live for in the world, this is when his true calling begins. While trying to escape the sinister powers that be, a terrifying vision haunts him. Miraculous events seem to follow the peculiar young man as he struggles to come to terms with what he was born to do. The stage is set. The time is at hand. The truth will rise and a revolution will begin. The startling revelation of who Thomas James is, truly, will change the lives of those around him and set off a chain of events long ago foretold. There is more to this novel than one might think. Inside these pages hides a treasure just waiting to be discovered. So if you've ever wondered if there's more to life, or why it is we suffer, then this story will not only captivate you, it may just open your eyes to a truth that could set you free. Find out what is in us all that makes us heed the calling. Click it.